What's up, everyone? And today I'm going to be doing a deck profile on my Predaplants. Now, Predaplants is a deck that I don't know when it came out of, but it's a fusion-based deck, and this card right here probably looks familiar because it is probably the most popular Super Poly target. And you'll probably also know Verte Anaconda, the card that can bring out Dragoon. Now, before we get into the video, I just want to remind you to hit that subscribe button because from what my stats tell me, that 90% of the people watching this video are not subscribed. That's terrifying. We gotta fix that. Without further ado, let's get into the deck profile. I run the 3 Orpheus Scorpio. Orpheus Scorpio, when this is normal special summon, you can send one monster from your hand to the graveyard, special summon one Predaplant monster from your deck. Except Scorpio. This is your main monster, and the fact that you can really special summon any of your Predaplants from deck. I'd say your most popular target is Darlington Cobra, because when this is special summoned by the effect of a Predaplant monster, add a polymerization or fusion spell. Also run the 1 Clammy. I just call it Clammy. I think it's like Clammy Deuce and Dow, whatever. Monsters with the Predator counter that use a fusion material are treated as dark. Doesn't really matter too much. You can fusion summon one dark fusion monster from your extra deck using this card on the field, and monsters from your hand, field, or monsters with a Predator counter from your opponents that your opponent controls as material. So this can in a way become a super poly, although there's easier ways around that. That's why I only run the 1. Also run 1 Spinodinia. This one places a Predaplant or Predator counters on your opponent's monster. Also run the 1 Cordyceps. When Cordyceps is in the grave, you can banish this card from your graveyard, target 2 level 4 or lower Predaplant monsters in your grave, special summon them. Although it locks you into fusion summoning for the rest of the turn. Which, if you already have your Cross Sheep and Verte Anaconda out, it's not too much of a problem. Also on the 3 Lone Fire Blossom and the 3 Evil Thorn, pretty much the staple of any plant-based deck. Lone Fire is literally an extra copy of any card, and Evil Thorn you contribute to special summon up to 2 Evil Thorns from the deck. Also on the 2 Rose Girl, if a face-up plant monster you control is sent to the graveyard, you can special summon this card from the hand. And if a plant monster is on the field and this card is in the graveyard, you can add it to your hand. So it's a pretty good card. Also run the 2 Perform Mage Hat Tricker. Now in practice, one problem I didn't run into is that I wasn't opening up with enough monsters. So I looked for some stuff that could special summon it from the hand, and Perform Mage Hat Trigger, if you control 2 monsters, it can be special summoned from the hand. So it's essentially a free summon, and that helps you going into stuff like Cross Sheep and Verte Anaconda. Also run the 1 Dark Magician and the 1 Red Eyes Black Dragon, because if you run Verte Anaconda, why would you not want to run Dragoon? Moving on to the spells, and we have a lot. First off, I run the 3 Lair of Darkness and the 1 Terraforming. Lair of Darkness makes all monsters on the field become dark, so that turns them into great super poly targets. Also run the 3 Pot of Prosperity, because you do have a little bit of extra deck space and you do need some draw power, and since you do run the Dragoon engine, you can't play Desires, Duality is not good. This card is really your only option because you don't want to just ban them cards randomly from the extra deck. I run 2 Predaponics, special summon 1 level 4 or lower monster from 1 level 4 or lower Predaplant monster from your hand or grave. Also run the 2 Dark Ruler No More, because this is a going second base deck. Essentially, you want your opponent to do their turn, create that board, and then just break it. Also run the 1 Predapruning. It's the monster born for it's a Predaplant monster born. And when I said about breaking the boards, I meant it in the form of 3 Super Poly, the ultimate removal, because your opponent cannot respond to it. So it's very hard to. It's very effective, essentially. I run the 2 Red Eyes Fusion. Now, usually I see people run 1 copy of Red Eyes Fusion, not 2. I run 2 because if I run 1 and I open with 1, Dragoon is just automatically dead. But if I open with 1 and I still have a second copy in the deck, I can still do the Dragoon plays and just like discarded the extra off of Super Poly. I run the 1 Polymerization, the 1 Monster Reborn, and the 1 Called by the Grave to round out the main deck. Moving on to the extra deck. I run 3 Starving Venom Fusion Dragon. Starving Venom can gain the attack of one of your opponent's monsters, so that's why it's kind of one of the very popular, and it's very generic to bring out. It just requires 2 dark monsters. Well, except tokens, but that's fine. And it has an additional effect when it's destroyed. You can destroy all special summon monsters your opponent controls. I run the 2 Predaplant Turbotrium. This is essentially a Solemn Judgment in a way. Your opponent special summons a monster from the extra deck. I think it's the extra deck? I don't know. But you can negate the summon. I run the 2 Dragostapelia. Okay, I'm really getting tongue-tied on that name. Either way, this is one of your negations. Although it's kind of a lot hard to get out, because the requirements are a Predaplant fusion and a dark monster. This has a quick effect to where you can place a Predator counter on one of your opponent's monsters, and it has the secondary effect that monsters with Predator counters cannot activate their effects. Also on the 1 Red Eyes Dark Dragoon for the Dragoon engine. I run the 1 Dingirsu because oftentimes you may end on a board of 2 Starving Venoms. The 1 Borlode Savage Dragon, mainly because you run Rose Girl, and Rose Girl is a tuner, so we just have those have that as an option if necessary. Starting with the links, we have 2 Predaplant Verte Anaconda, needs no introduction. The 1 Cross Sheep, when a fusion monster is special summon or fusion summon to a zone this card points to, special level 4 lower from grave, and an Appaloosa and Access Code. Well, that's it for my Predaplant deck profile. Let me know what you think. Do you think it's a pretty cool deck? Do you think Super Fall could see some plays soon? Let me know in the comments, and I'll see you in the next video I make. Bye.